Tantra also involves the body becomes the
Yes,
vehicle to
very
the
important.
divine.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you see, our body is fantastic, right? We have so much energy inside our body that people are not aware of. And nobody tries to harness that energy,
Right.
you know, that Shakti that is here in the Kundalini resting down there in the root chakra, right? And that is the real energy. And to preserve this energy and to use this energy for our benefit is what Gorakshanath was teaching, because Gorakshanath said, like, your health is very important, right? You got to clean yourself, Nadi Shodhan. You have to go through this Nadi Shodhan, Kriya, you have to do it. So that will help you to go forward, to raise your Kundalini, you know. And so Gorakh emphasized these things very much, because without that you are not going to be, you will be nowhere else.
So different pranayams to
Yes.
purify the nadis.
Yes, Gorakh developed all this, you know, and the pranayamas were all different pranayamas were all developed by Gorakshanath, you know, in Hatha Yoga. It's part of Hatha Yoga. So you see, this Shakti, this energy we possess, but
So-
still we are so blind that we are not
Right.
aware of
Like
it.
he really defined the entire subtle energy body,
Yeah.
the yogic body.
Yes, because
Yeah.
he was able to do that, because he went through all that. Right? And that's why he was able, he wanted to give this knowledge, and
Ida
wisdom, the
Pingala.
real truth, the true knowledge,
Right.
you know, so that people will excel, and then their lives will be different, their societies will change,
Right.
communities will become different, nations will change, you know. That was his object, you know.
Right.
So that's why you see this energy we have so much, but still people are so unaware of it, and nobody tries to harness it, you know.
Right.
Like what Gorakshanath has already said, like through yoga you go through these practices and then you will realize it yourself, you'll feel it yourself, you'll experience it yourself, because
So he created the ability to, the technique to raise the Kundalini.
yes.
And is that Tantra?
No, that is yoga.
That's Hatha Yoga.
Yes, it's Hatha
Okay.
Yoga, you know. And Hatha Yoga, Pradipika, you know, this book.
Hatha Yoga Pradipika.
Yeah. So he defines in very detail every aspect of the practice of Hatha Yoga, you know,
Right.
from the top to the bottom. So that was one of his greatest contribution
Yeah.
for mankind, you see. So you see, that's what it was. And then the use of body in Tantra is very important, right? And in left-hand Tantra, that's why we call it Tantra, you know. Because in right hand, the body is not used, you see. So there's a difference there. And in the left hand Tantra, we use our body. That means we use our sputum that comes out from our mouth. We use person's tears.
Right.
Right? If a person cries through some kind of a grief, then I can collect those tears and then do some Tantra so that it will heal her,
Right.
you see. So that's how we use everything that we have in our body, like blood. People are afraid, oh, blood offering. But that is Tantra, because we are using our body parts. We are using
Right.
some blood to effect, you know, a tantric effect, a vibration, to create a vibration so that the person will also be healed and things
And
like that.
semen and
Yes,
rajas.
yes, everything, even the semen, even the menstruation blood, right? And all these things are used, even your nails, your hair, you know, even your skin,
Right.
everything. That's why it's called Tantra. That's why it's practiced very much in the left hand.
Right.
You know, all this is practiced in the left hand Tantra, really using body parts to do whatever.
But it has nothing to do with the Kundalini.
No, it has nothing to do with the Kundalini and all. It's just a practice. It's a tantric practice, you know, and then it is for healing,
Right.
you know, healing.
Okay.
It's for that. It has nothing to do with Kundalini, you know. Now all the Kundalini aspect and everything comes in the Pancha Makara, you know. I mean, not in the Pancha Makara, but it is related with this story of Gorakshanath and Machindranath,
Okay.
you know, and how Machindranath was somehow he reached this place, Kamakya, and then he was influenced by the Buddhists who were living there at that time, because everything was Buddhist at that time, you know, and you could find Buddhists everywhere at that time. That's another truth. So these Buddhist Vajrayanis, they influenced Machindranath somehow,
Right.
and then maybe because he was in the company of these Vajrayanis, maybe he had traveled with them and been to Kamakya.
And was doing Buddhist practices.
Yeah, and then he went there, and then he created this Panchamakara in the peat, in the Devi's peat.
Because he's also known as the father of Tantra
Yeah.
and the Kaula Yogini cult.
Yes, now the Kaula also, that's what he started.
Mm,
You know, this is what he started there in Kamakya.
right.
Because Kaula is the same thing, it's the Panchamakara practice.
It is.
It's the
okay.
same thing. So that is what Machindranath started there.
Right.
Right, like a cult, it was spreading, you know. And that's why everyone was talking about Machindranath, you know, criticizing many other Nath yogis who were criticizing Matsyendranath, you know,
Right.
saying, oh, look, and when they met Gorak, one of them meets Gorak, and there's a story there and how he criticizes his guru. He says, oh, your guru is all fucked up, you know, he has no, no respect and all, you know. And Gorak says, why, what's the reason? Then he says, like, your guru is in such a place, right? And then he's lost, your guru is lost, he's a scum, he's become a scumbag, and like, you know, yeah, he has nothing to do now with the Nath Sampradaya, he's disgraced the Nath Sampradaya and all this. And Guru just could not bear this, you know,
Right.
about his Guru,
Yeah.
from whom he had learned everything.
Right.
This Guru was the one who gave him all the knowledge about yoga, Hatha Yoga, everything. It was Machindranath, you know, all the bandhas, the 3 different great bandhas that is very effective for Kundalini, you know, raising the Kundalini. So it was given by Machindranath to Gorakshanath. And Gorak was like really very furious, angry to hear that what happened to my Guru.
Right.
Like he's lost. What happened? Like where's he? He wanted to find him, you know. So
Yeah.
that's how he found him when people started talking about him. And then he knew he was in this place. That's why he went there and really rescued his guru from this hellhole that he himself had built. You know, Machindranath was responsible for doing that. And the Kaula, you know, tradition that he had started there.
So what are the Panchamakaras?
And coming into the Panchamakara, first thing is like, first we have to understand what Gorakshanath had in his mind, you know. Because Gorakshanath very much emphasized, you know, emphasized on being a celibate, you know, remaining brahmacharya.
Right.
And he had very good reasons behind that for this. You know, he wanted yogis to be brahmacharya. So that was the most important thing that Gorakshanath emphasized on the yogis, he said.
Did he explain why?
Yes, he does. Because he tells yogis not to come in contact or remain in contact with any women. Stay away. Do your sadhana. Don't get distracted by women, you know, because that is going to be a big trouble for the yogis, and the yogis will not be able to achieve what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the reason why Gorakshanath, he said, okay, you got to be very careful. Because another thing Gorakshanath understood was that these yogis, the young yogis, will not be able to totally understand the true nature of a woman. And then they will be trapped, you know.
Right.
And they'll be trapped, and then they will forget about their sadhana, and it will all destroy them, you see. So this is what Gorakshanath had in his mind.
Poor men won't be able to control themselves again.
That's very much true, because men are more indulgent in sex than women, you see. So this is one reason also. So Gorakshanath was very aware of this, so he really wanted to keep yogis away from this part, you know. And another thing is, it's not that Gorakshanath didn't understand anything. He knew everything about women, right? That's why he kept yogis away. You know, he kept them away, and Gorakshanath has even influenced one mystic poet of India. His name is Kabir Das, and Kabir Das was very much influenced by Gorakshanath. he loved him. And even, he expressed what Gorakshanath used to express to the people.
Right.
And Gorakshanath also expresses about women, And there he says that there is a line also, which I made some note out here. Let me just read that line. Yeah, maybe. So here he says, this is in Hindi, right? So Kaviraj, he says, Maya Maha Thagini Mai Jani, And that line means, Maya, And Maya is like, is one of the biggest cheater. It'll cheat you. That's what he writes. That's why he says, Maya Maha Thagini Mai Jani. Then he says again, Tirguna Pasa Liye Kar Dole Bole Madurbani. Now, Trigun Pass, this is very important to understand. What is this Trigun Pass, This is very prevalent in South Asia and even in Asia, but mostly in South Asia, They say like women have a Triya Charitra, and Triya Charitra meaning character, and Triya meaning multiple, character they have. And you will not be able to really understand a woman clearly because they possess this character. But this is like not universal truth, okay? It's a kind of a stereotype thought that women are like this. They have these characters, Triya Charitra in them. And to understand Triya Charitra also is not easy, you see. And Gorakshanath knew this. Women possess this kind of characters. And then also Gorakshanath...
What are these characters?
I'll come to that later. And then Gorakshanath then even knew, he knew everything about women. And even he knew women are different, Then he said there is one category of women, now let's call them a wise woman. Right. Then there is another category of women, he said, you can call it a wild woman. Wild, right? Then there is another category of women whom you can call maiden. A maiden, right? And then there is another one. So like this, he defined. He understood the characteristics of women, what they were like, And then he said, there's another one you can call her like a nurturer, one who nurtures everyone, very motherly. You see. Mm-hmm. So he understood the womanly nature, what they were of different kinds, right? But he even understood the Triya nature of the woman. Also. So, and Triya nature of the woman is very poisonous. It can destroy a man, totally. So he knew this. He understood this. That's
what does that mean, Triya nature?
Triya meaning the Triya character, you can say, Triya Charitra. Charitra meaning character, Triya meaning multiple character.
Okay.
So women are of this. That's why they talk about this like this. They say, oh, women, we can't understand women. It's so difficult.
Because they change.
Yes,
they're changeable.
yes, that's
mutable.
what. Yeah, mutable, and because there is a reason that Gorakshanath really explains this also, So that's what Kabir also writes. He says, Maya Maha Thagini Mai Jani, Trigun Fas Liye Kar Dole. That means the woman, she always moves around carrying this lasso of this Triya Charitra with her. Again, she can easily lasso anyone with that character, So that's what Kabir also says about woman. And Bole Madhurmani, and Bandhurmani meaning she really knows how to speak. Very sweetly, very softly, very mesmerizing, like they have this, right?
Right.
And that's what Kabir writes also. Then he criticizes everyone. He criticizes Brahma and Shiva. He says, Kavi Brahma ko Brahmini bani. Sometimes you become the Brahmini of Brahma. And another time you become Bhavani of Shiva.
Right.
You are everywhere, So that's what Kabir says, right? So that's what he says. So he says, so that's what he says. Tu Mahathagini Maijani. I know you are one of the greatest cheater. So that's what Kabir tries to, he was a poet, so he used to just speak out and in poetic forms. But he was really true about this, because this was he took this idea from Gorakshanath, you see, about women. And then obviously, and another thing is that I'm not trying to portray or express and portray Gorakshanath or Kabir Das as a misogynist.
Misogynist.
A misogynist or
Right.
whatever
Right.
the pronunciation. Okay, misogynist, right? So I'm not saying that they are misogynists, they hate women and this and no. They were different because they understood everything, right? They were not haters. They didn't have any prejudice against women or any kind of, feelings, bad feelings and things like that. Never, no. Because Guru, he was a Guru, Gorakshanath, and he wanted to take his disciples in the right direction. That's why he emphasized them not to stay away from women, because you will not be able to understand the.
Meanwhile, his guru was totally hanging out with the yoginis.
This is the irony there, the paradox or whatever you say, with Machindranath. I'll come to that also slowly.
Okay,
right.
we're coming to the end of this section.